Hello everyone, my name is Meng. I'm from IMUTT Thailand. Today, my topic is about the trade credit finance reverse the impact of strategic deviation on firm performance, China manufacturing industry. My presentation includes five parts. The first part is introduction. The behavior of companies is heavily influenced by its strategy, which serves as the foundation for various actions. Firms continuously adjust their conversational strategy to foster long-term business growth, taking into account internal and external resources condition and exploding unique pattern of resource allocation. However, in the impact of strategic deviation on trade credit finance and firm performance remains an area of debate in the research community. Corporate strategy deviation impacts company performance and their interrelationship, which is warrant to further comprehensive investigation. And for the similarly, there are different various values on the impact of trade credit finance on firm performance. Research on the relationship between strategic deviation, trade credit financing, and performance still present gaps. Firstly, the existing yard conflicting results regarding the relationship between these factors. Secondly, previous studies have not accurately distinguished between the various origin of trade credit finance. Lastly, the methodological approach in relevant studies have primarily focused on mathematical model derivation, questionnaire surveys, and quantitative analysis with limited use of empirical tests. Second part is the hypothesis. In this part, we in this part in this part we put four hypotheses or formulate in this study after review of previous literature. First one is about relationship between strategic deviation and corporate trade credit finance. We put two hypotheses. H1A strategic deviation negatively affect the trade credit finance that firms received from their customers. Another one is strategic deviation positively affects the trade credit finance that firms receive from their suppliers. Second part is about the relationship between strategic deviation and firm performance. In this part, based on the finding in research on strategic deviation and firm performance, the study proposed a pair of opposite hypotheses. Strategy deviation negatively affect firm performance, and strategy deviation positively affect firm performance. The third is about the relationship between trade credit finance and the firm performance. H3A, trade credit finance obtained from customer positively affect firm performance, and trade credit finance from suppliers negatively affect firm performance. The last one, based on the first three hypotheses, the study further tested whether strategic deviation affect firm performance through trade credit finance. And H4A, strategic deviation affects the performance of firms through trade credit finance provided by customers. And strategic deviation affects the performance of firms through trade credit finance provided by supplier. The third part is about research methodology. This is our study follow about this conceptual framework. Strategic deviation is independent variable, and firm performance is the dependent variable, and trade credit finance is the mediation variable. This study collected secondary data such as the financial report information of 1,649 companies listed in China manufacturing industry for the period from 2030 to 2020. To ensure the reality of the date, the information is mainly collected from the China CESMR database and official announcement of listed company. And the fixed effect model were used in conducting the analysis of variance. In this study, 4 models were developed to test the hypothesis. The first part is about research result. First one is analyze. From the table 1, regarding the trade credit finance, suggests that firms have relatively higher access to trade credit finance from supplier for their transaction and buyer's market situation. Conversely, in transaction with customers, China manufacturing enterprise primarily provide trade credit finance in customer transaction, while receive the minimal trade credit finance in return. And for the correlation analysis in table 2, we present the correlation efficiency or to employ the relationship among the variables. Remarkably, all the coefficients remain below 0.52, well below the critical value of 0.75. And for the regression analysis, first we find the regression result provide evidence that supplier rapidly improve the firm's strategic deviation information, leading to them to be more inclined to offer increased trade credit finance to these firms. Conversely, for customers, a higher strategic deviation contributes to a greater degree of information asymmetry, making it more challenging for them to interpret the firm's information. And the second, we find the H2 indicates that the independent variable strategic deviation has a significant negatively effect on the dependent variable firm performance. As a result, hypothesis H2A of this study are supported. And 3, the finding indicates that trade credit finance from suppliers can lead to increased supervision and management costs, negatively affect firm performance. On the other hand, trade credit finance from customers provides additional resource for investment and contributes to improve firm performance. And in the last one, the regression result provides support for the mediation effect of both trade credit finance from suppliers and trade credit finance from customers in the relationship between strategic deviation and firm performance. The last part is about conclusion and discussion. First one, conclusion. In the first model, we observe that deviation significantly influenced the trade credit finance, show a positive effect on supply trade credit finance and a negative effect on customer trade credit finance. The second model reversed a significant and negative correlation between strategic deviation and firm performance. The third model provides that trade credit finance on firm performance indicates that trade credit finance from supplier has a negative associated with performance, while trade credit finance from customer positively affect performance. The fourth model demonstrates the mediation role of trade credit finance in the relationship between trade strategic deviation and firm performance. Discussion first. Larger strategic deviation among enterprise intensively information asymmetry between them and stakeholders, making it challenging to obtain trade credit finance from customers due to operational and information risks. And the second one, strategic deviation establishes a positive correlation with trade credit finance from suppliers. Probably due to suppliers being more percentage of firm strategic difference in concentrated market series, leading them to provide additional trade credit finance to firms for long-term benefits. And the last one is trade credit finance plays a mediating role in the relationship between strategic deviation and firm performance. This finding suggests that listed companies in the China manufacturing industry can strategically unity trade credit finance to positively impact firm performance. That's all. Thank you.